I just want to address something and be very clear. So Donald Trump, the article came out talking about the Department of Justice had this like weaponization of the DOJ committee where they were going to go after all of Donald Trump's enemies. And nothing's happened because honestly, they can't find anything. But now, article came out that said they're going to meet daily and figure out how to go back at Trump's enemies. I want to be very clear about something from my end. I am the opposite of intimidated by you. Doesn't concern me. It doesn't worry me because honestly, I know I've done nothing except do the best I can to uphold the Constitution of the United States. And I know that history will make you look like a chump, Donald Trump. And I really believe that someday the last name Trump will be like calling somebody Benedict Arnold. You're a Trump. And oh, dude, come on. Those are fighting words. Don't call me a Trump. I think you will end up, they will erase you as much as possible from the history books. Yes, your name will be under the 45th and 47th president, but that's like it. Like skipped over. They're going to be like, hey, America was drunk. Yeah, we did this thing. But kids, then the 48th president came along and everything was better because this guy's a complete clown face. So Donald Trump has been threatening people because he got indicted and honestly should have been put in jail for both protecting classified documents, keeping classified documents, and obviously his attempt to overthrow the government. Let's talk about the classified documents just really quickly. The DOJ and the FBI had repeatedly been trying to get Donald Trump to turn those documents over. They knew we had them. They politely are like, hey, we need those back. No. Okay, well, just so you know, you don't get to keep. No. And he even said at one point, if I think about something to be declassified, it's declassified, which I'm sorry, that's not how it works. So they tried for a year and finally they had to execute a search warrant and get it. In his bathroom, by the way. So this stuff was like just kind of out there in the open. That was actually an open and closed case. And I look forward to when Jack Smith can finally talk about it, when that judge, Eileen Cannon, actually lifts her order, which will be soon. And then we're going to find out a lot more about that. But then, of course, the overthrowing of the government thing, we all saw it with our own eyes on January 6th. You're going to have people, some of the MAGAs that pretend like it didn't happen, or it was the FBI, or it was Antifa. I'm not even going to really address it because, like, if you actually believe that, then, I mean, honestly, you probably believe the earth is flat. We never went to the moon. And I don't know. So Biden was an alien or a robot or whatever. So this is the point. Donald Trump is really angry because he was seen as a loser. I mean, he was a loser. He lost in 2020. And he knows that the history books will reflect that. And he doesn't like being seen as a loser. When you're a deep narcissist, this is like an obsessive thing. It's funny, when I was on the January 6th committee, the Republicans would come up and be like, yeah, but it's just time to look to the future. And now I'm like, well, now they're obsessed with the past. So the point is, am I worried? No. In fact, come after me. It'll make me 3 times more effective against you. I promise you. So bring it. This is what's insane, though. Donald Trump is the biggest victim, the biggest crybaby, the biggest sissy to ever exist. I mean, it is incredible watching this guy whine and complain. And I mean, you won the presidency again, man. Congratulations. Like, be happy, be excited, but he can't. He's obsessed. He's always a victim. The most powerful man in the world is the victim of everything. So either he's a whiny victim, he is, or he's like the most ineffective, most powerful man in the world because, my God, right? The role of the Department of Justice is not to be Donald Trump's weapon. The role of the DOJ is to carry out justice. And I've got to tell you, when he's out of office and a new president comes in, those that broke the Constitution should be held accountable. You're not going to go after, I don't think the next president should go after people that like Donald Trump or go after people that oppose Democrats, but people that violated the Constitution, it is essential to go after them. So I have no intimidation, no fear, no worry. And in fact, if you want to argue that the DOJ was weaponized under Biden, then tell me why it took the Department of Justice a year after the January 6th committee was formed to even start their investigation. They could have had Donald Trump in the slammer if they'd have done it when we started it. But they were so obsessed with not being seen as political and weaponized that they waited, and in my mind, waited entirely too long. So, Donald, you're 79 years old. You're not long for this earth. I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, just human numbers. Uh, Someday you're going to face your creator. And if I were you, I'd be a little concerned. But you're Donald Trump. The only thing you care about is this moment and your corruption. And let me just point out as I wrap this up and remind you that I am not intimidated by you in any way. Let me just point out how absolutely insanely corrupt you are. Just came out a few days ago that a United Arab Emirates sheik bought part of your company for $500 million, 49%. So you get the money, but he has no control. And then all of a sudden, UAE gets access to these advanced computer chips that we've been protecting for ourselves because they're pretty intense. We don't want them to go to China. He also gave China them too, so good work. You got a $400 million jet from Qatar that the U.S. taxpayer is going to spend $1 billion to upgrade, and then you get to take it with you when you leave? I mean, your corruption is insane. And by the way, every one of your sons following you on your little overseas trips, and then they build a Trump hotel when you leave. The corruption is staggering. The only thing crazy about it is just how open and brazen you are about it. Most evil, corrupt people, when they leave office, then you find out they stole money. You're just doing it out in the open. And you also just decided to sue the government for $10 billion, and you can make the IRS find in your favor and give you money. You're a disgrace. Honestly, you're a disgrace, probably to the Trump name. I don't know your family lineage, but I'm sure they wouldn't be proud of you. You're a disgrace to America. You're a disgrace to the office of the presidency. You're a disgrace to justice. You're a disgrace to everything Americans hold dear. And even those that support you, that think you're standing for something bigger, when they think you're actually fighting on their side, when in reality, you send out 5 times a day a request for $5 or $10 from people on a fixed income that are struggling to get by, but now you can get their $5 or $10 because you've convinced them that they have to do that to save their country, and they're good patriots. They want to save their country, but really you're just sucking all this money in to take with you because you are a corrupt, evil man who will face your maker, because nobody can beat Father Time. I would not want to be in your shoes when that happened. But I know this, I'm not scared of you. I know I'm going to be around far longer than you, and I'm going to be around to celebrate with the rest of America when we flush you down the toilet in 3 years. And when, America wakes up and realizes how silly this was, and even MAGAs will never admit they supported you. So I'm right here. Bring it on. Good luck manufacturing some kind of a sin. We'll catch you soon.